NXT, what do you expect to happen? You throw Becky Lynch down in NXT, what do you expect to happen? I mean, these people came from there, or if they didn't come from there, they're just big stars on the main roster. Kevin Owens on NXT again now. Um, and they're trying to, but see, the thing about that is, even if they are getting good fucking ratings, it's a call down. And people are like, oh, well, NXT is equal. They're equal now. No, they're not equal. It's the whole point of NXT. They're developmental. People can say what they want, but the fact is they were brought into the company. They were created. They were dreamt up. They were built. They were architecturalized by Triple H and Steph and whomever else had their hands in the pot. I don't know. I wasn't there. As a developmental program, similar to the Power Plant, except successful. Sorry, WCW. And so by bringing people up, you're bringing them to the main roster. Even though as fans, we know that's not pay dirt. We know that's just the end of their career pretty much. It's still considered in WWE as the greatest honor. You're getting called up to the main roster. You're going from the minors to the majors. So in my opinion, by sending these people back down to NXT, you're damaging them more than you're doing anything else. Yeah, you're boosting ratings for NXT, but aren't you damaging them if you're sending them down there in any kind of capacity more than just a one-off show up, maybe do one match, not a weekly type deal? And I don't know that Finn and Becky and all them have been doing weekly type deals, but I know that I've been seeing all over Twitter they've been showing up more than once. And maybe it was one night, 2 nights, whatever. But still, by sending them down there, it's a call down. That's what it looks like. And even if it isn't a permanent call down, it's still a call down in such a manner that you're sending one of your top stars from the main roster back down to NXT. And so they're getting up on social media and they're getting up on the tweeters and everything else, and they're saying, "Oh, I don't want the terms call down and call up to be associated with NXT." And they're even Triple H talking about that. And I'm like, fact is, you did it to yourself. You created NXT this way. And that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be a developmental for the main roster. They're supposed to be where you farm your next big star. The next Rocky Maivia. The next Steve Austin. The next Goldberg. The next Hulk Hogan are supposed to come from NXT. So by bringing that finished product, by bringing that product that you said was ready to make it to the main roster, and by sending them back down, like I said before, you are boosting ratings, but long term, I feel like you're going to damage your, not employees, but not employees of WWE, you're going to damage the talent. That's just me looking out. I'm fucking armchair booking right now. I'm just throwing my opinion in the ring, and whether anybody listens or not, hell, that's up to you guys here on Spreaker, but that's not the whole discussion there, too. The other part of this discussion is this. Brain fart. No. The other part of the discussion is this. The NXT invasion. So, on the topic of the invasion, yeah, this is really cool. We're seeing NXT go to SmackDown. NXT go to Raw. NXT show up at Survivor Series. But we're also, like I said before, seeing the main roster guys show back up down on NXT. Now, avoiding the whole, rant that I just went on and re-saying that, fact is, you can't do that forever. How are you going to keep NXT fresh? You see, AEW has it to where they're the new company on the block. They're the new guys. The fresh is worn off a little bit. But they're pretty much keeping everybody interested in seeing what they're going to do next because they're new, because they're taking a stand against the big corporate monster WWE, because they're trying to take a foothold in the wrestling market here in the U.S., unlike any other company has done since 2001. So they've got a story. Hell, they're almost like an underdog wrestler. I mean, they've got a story. They've got a meaning. They've got a mission. They've got something somewhere to be. And we look at WWE, and right now they're keeping up with AEW. And hell, I think the other week they beat them for the first time in the ratings. But how are you going to keep that up? The invasion storyline will get stale. You're going to have a payoff eventually. I mean, I guess you don't. It's WWE. They're pretty good about not doing that. But let's, for shits and giggles, say they want to follow the correct protocol and eventually give a payoff. What's next? How are you going to keep it fresh if it can't do another invasion back to back? You know, it just happened, just ended. The winner is the winner, the loser is the loser. The company with the biggest ball stands tall, you know? I mean, so you'd have to keep it fresh. I'm wondering what they'll do next to keep NXT on the same level. And it's not to say that the talent is on another level, on a lower level in AEW, because people like Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, and some of the other great guys, Gargano and Ciampa, I think they're still there in NXT, I'm not sure. Some of the other great guys they have on the NXT roster, hell, they're really fucking good. Some of them may even be better than the guys in AEW. I wouldn't say better than Kenny Omega, though still better than some of the guys in AEW. However, how are you going to keep the show, the production, how are you going to keep that on the same level with AEW? How are you going to keep interest? What stories are you going to be able to do creatively? Because I feel like that's what this is. This is a ditch effort to keep them on the same level as All Elite Wrestling. Because fuck, I mean, All Elite was fucking kicking their ass. Now, we know that the SmackDown invasion kind of came from necessity when they got stuck in Saudi Arabia and they seen gold with it afterwards, and it was like, fuck, let's do this on NXT. And it worked, and it's continuing. And I say keep running with it, you know, keep doing what you got to do. But, I mean, fans know this. There's going to have to be a payoff, and what's going to happen after the payoff? I mean, they're going to have something planned pretty big to keep an ongoing deal going against All Elite Wrestling. So, I mean, I just wonder what exactly that deal is going to be, and, you know, whom they're going to use to get it over. So, I've got some more news on the Cornette situation. I've been keeping pretty fucking close eyes on this, just because I feel like it's a big deal, and with each week, with each passing week, I'm getting more and more information about this. And so, you know, I'm like, it's slowly but surely changing my opinion in a way. Not completely, but in a way. So, a little bit of an update for anybody who hasn't been listening the last couple of weeks. Jim Cornette was fired, / resigned from the NWA because of comments he made about, I think, an episode ago or 2 episodes ago now. You know, I'm not going to repeat the quote, but just know it wasn't the best quote to say. It was a joke that got over 20 years ago, but it didn't get over now. Society and community has changed. I'm not going to go back through that debate, especially when I have nobody to bounce the ideas off of. Damn it, Sean. But in that same sense, let's talk a little bit about what's going on now. So, you know, with the whole deal, people immediately jumped on Jim Cornette. And I did too, to an extent, especially the day of. You know, everybody's all over Jim, and I kind of jumped on the bandwagon there because I wasn't really thinking clearly. I was just kind of thinking, how could you say something like that? You know, it's not really, I mean, it's just, you are doing this as a living. You should be able to think quick enough and understand the society in which you live in to know that that wasn't going to go over. That wasn't going to be kosher. It wasn't going to go over like Rover. It just wasn't cool. So instead, you say what you say, and yada, 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 and then it's history. But it's like the more people start thinking, the more they start realizing, hey, wait a minute. You know, Cornette said it, and Cornette should be blamed for it, of course, but the NWA kind of let it happen. I mean, fact is, the NWA edited that shit. They had multiple eyes on it. And you see, I thought they filmed it a week before, so, you know, you filmed this the same day the last one's been fucking released, and you got 7 days to go through it. You know, 7 days, because you know they got the post-production where they snip everything together, and they got editing, and they got quality control, and they got the producer going back over to make sure everything's the way he wants it. And then if anything needs to be changed, which for the sake of argument, we will say something needs to be changed, a tweak here, cut there, a nip there, a tuck there. They go back over again. So let's go back through that. It's post-production, quality control, and then, post-production, editing, quality control, and the producer. Going back through it. So that's, if one person is on each crew there, that's 2, 4, it's 8 pairs of eyes, or 8 different eyeballs. 8 different eyeballs looking at this fucking production that was put together by the National Wrestling Alliance, and nobody caught that shit. Fucking 4 people, or it could be 8, because they have 2 people crews on that shit sometimes, or more. I mean, we're just doing this for shits and arguments here. It could be however many people got past all of them. And so I listened to the Jim Cornette podcast the week after everything happened, and he mentioned that this was filmed 6 weeks in advance. And then he had talked to Lagana, and everything was fine before it was released. So, in my opinion, and as unpopular as it might be, the NWA is just as much, if not more, to fucking blame than Jim Cornette. So, I mean, how can he be more to blame, you say? Jim Cornette said it, he made the statement, has admitted to it, and yes, he did, don't get me wrong. But they knew who they hired when they hired him. Jim Cornette's track record as far as what he has said, what he has done, and all the different characters he's played, it's all public fucking record. And you know who Jim Cornette is. He's not some off-the-wall Joe Blow that this is his first commentating job. No, he's been doing this shit for like 35, 40 fucking years. So, you've got a powder keg. You got somebody, who's Jimmy fucking Cornette. And you have to keep an eye out. Actually, he's already been in trouble once this month before about saying some other comments about suicide. So, explain to me how you don't take that extra time to go through the show and make sure nothing was slipped by you. Explain to me how in 6 weeks you don't do an extra run through. Like, I think I want to look at the show one more time just to make sure. As a producer, David Lagana is just as responsible for the product and the content he puts out there for everyone to watch as the talent who performs said product, as the commentators who remark on said product. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, Lagana and the NWA are just as much to blame for this whole incident as Jim Cornette. And people are like, no, you gotta think about it, man. Don't get me wrong, Cornette is in trouble, and he should be, and I don't know if he should have lost his job, but he definitely should have got some shit for it, and he has. And the NWA deserves something too. I mean, they shouldn't be able to get off scot-free. They shouldn't just be able to get online and say, we're sorry, and talk a bunch of shit about Jim Cornette and get away with it. That's just not how this works. So, I don't know. I'm a little fed up with the whole thing. I'm honestly thinking about not watching NWA anymore, but I don't know. I haven't decided, because I really did have some faith in them and really did enjoy their show. But I don't know. I am pissed off with the whole situation. So, yeah. So this is the big one that I wish I'd have put it later down the card, but still one of the bigger articles that I've been waiting on talking about, and I've been talking about since Double or Nothing, was Kylie Rae. Where is Kylie Rae? And so we all know that she asked for her release like the day after Double or Nothing. We couldn't figure out why. We thought there was something else fishy going on, and I still do think something. But she had something to say. She broke her silence a little bit, and here we go. Former AEW wrestler Kylie Rae has finally broken her silence on leaving the company. In a post on Instagram, Kylie wrote these words. I don't know how to start this, and I can't speak on others' behalves. I can only speak for myself and what's in my heart. I don't know many rumors and honestly try to stay away from everything, obviously. But here, nobody made me leave. AEW took my career to new levels, and I'm beyond grateful for every opportunity and experience that has come along the way, and wish nothing but the best. It's a great group of people who truly love wrestling and just want everyone to succeed. I've always tried to be a good person, but I make many mistakes along the way. I need to get my mind, body, and soul right with God. I wish I had the answers, but the truth is I don't. We all go through obstacles in life, and we may want all the answers, but we don't need them. It's God's plan, and He has shown me what's truly important in life, and to find a blessing in every moment, because in the blink of an eye, everything can be gone. So instead of bashing, let's just love one another and appreciate what we have, or something like that. LOL, sorry, I'm awkward. As you recall, the female wrestler quietly asked for her release from AEW over the summer, and it was granted. This was made public by AEW President Tony Khan during a media scrum after All Out. Ray was part of a four-way match at Double or Nothing in Las Vegas and was seemingly pegged to be one of the stars of the AEW women's division. Shortly after, however, she deactivated her social media accounts and pulled out of a few bookings. Kylie returned to the ring